Hello, everyone. Apologies for the late start. It's technology. I mean, earlier today, our service provider gave my heart a beat, a skip, and a jump because it's the whole town. There's nothing I can do about it. I literally cried this afternoon, but I look a little bit better today. Okay, so apologies if I see that there is problems. I'm going to switch over to data. So please stay tuned. Please stay connected. And yes, you have to remember I'm alone. I'm the presenter, the cameraman, the everything. And fortunately, I have Michelle at the back end. But here in my studio, it is just me. So I will make sure that you'll be able to see my hands. And if I move out of the frame, I will notice it and I will move back in. Okay, so what did I prepare for you? So when Michelle asked me to join this live and she said it's Christmas theme, I jumped in, and I just didn't jump in. I jumped into the rabbit hole because I love Christmas and I love Christmas decorations. And that's exactly what I did and prepared for you tonight. I actually already filled my tree with all the decorations that I've made. And yes, let's get going. So the first thing that I'm going to show you, I'm not sure if I'm going to show you all of them before the time or show you one at a time and make them. But yes, so let's get going. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I've got lids. Lids from boxes. And I think I've had these lids for 8 years because I used the boxes for something else 8 years ago and 8 or 9 years ago or 7 years ago. But yes, and I still kept the lids. And I thought, okay, they said to me, choose what you want to use. And I saw a beautiful stencil, this one. I already cut it out. So it comes like this. But the way I want to use it, I need to cut it. And this to me looks exactly like a poinsettia. Now, the reason why I chose this is because I have poinsettias on my tree. And I thought, okay, let me use this and create a tree ornament. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera and yes, then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So this is what we're going to do. Tree ornament. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is I'm going to choose my paint. So I started with Frick's Forest. And I'm learning. I used to paint directly from the tub, but you're not supposed to do that. Okay, I think I can put in a little bit more. And I'm just going to use my Cinto soft brush, and I'm literally going to paint directly onto the box. Now with this green, I have to paint 2 layers. The box does, the back of the box does come through a little bit, but I don't mind. Just wait for it to dry and just put a second layer on. Some colors, as an artist, I've learned very quickly that certain colors contains, well, all the colors contains different pigments and is made with different mediums and things from the earth to get the colors. And unfortunately, with greens and yellows, sometimes you have to paint 2 coats. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side because I've got so many decorations and I want to get through everything. I already had made one that's painted. Ta-da! Magic, quick dry. Okay, so the inside I'm going to paint with Magical Marina. I just love these colors. And the reason, oh no, it's not this one, sorry. The reason why I chose these colors, it's awesome. The reason why I chose these colors is because I got a few small decorations when I bought my new tree and from the retail store, and I bought these beautiful green baubles, and I thought that's going to be the color scheme. Oh, look what I'm doing now. Painting directly from the top. Not supposed to do that. It's a bad habit that I have to teach myself not to do. Okay, so, and I'm literally now, because I've already painted the bottom part with Frix Forest, I only have to do one coat. And in my studio, magic happens. So I'm going to literally do, whoop, let it dry, and there it's dry. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to use is of course, the stencil of Paris. And I literally cut my stencil to fit in there. And I'm just pressing it down because this lid is not flat. I don't want the stencil of Paris to go underneath the stencil. And I'm using a very small artist palette knife. And I'm just putting a nice thick layer of the stencil of Paris inside the lid. And I keep on pressing down on it, even as I move it around. I'm putting it's quite a heavy layer because I want it to be raised. Oh, there, my nail nipped that bit. Now the problem is because it is inside the lid, I have to use another palette knife to lift the stencil up. So you have to be very careful because normally we lift the stencil from one corner or both corners and lift it up. So I keep both my fingers on the stencil. Just make sure that I get to lift it up. Then I let go and I pull it up. And there you have it. Let me just clean my fingers. Otherwise, I'm going to have stencil of Paris all over the lid. And I'm going to bring it in so that you can see. You can see the texture. I already just also drilled holes at the top with my Dremel tool. And I inserted twine or rope. And there you have a tree ornament. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to flip it up and down so that you can see the way it hangs. Okay, before we move on to the next one, I just want to scrape away this extra stencil of Paris and clean my stencil, otherwise I'm going to struggle afterwards. Okay, now with all this technology, oh, there's a comment. Okay, I thought I was cut off because with all the trouble we've had, thank you, Gabriela, with all the trouble we had, you know, nothing is impossible. Okay, on to the next one. So for the next one, which one am I going to show you? Okay, I'm going to do the ones with nice techniques first, and then when we have time, I'll do the rest. So the next one is a little bell that's made with wire. Now, this is an upcycle or recycle. I've had these bells for 21 years, And they've been every single color of the rainbow, depending on what my theme for Christmas is. So normally, or the best way to get paint on this is to spray it, because it's quite difficult to get a brush in there. But we don't all have spray paint. And I'm definitely not going to buy spray paint just for a couple of bells. I'm going to show you a trick to paint them neatly with Tjhoko. Okay, and we don't use a paintbrush. We use a little sponge. Okay, and for that, I use the David, or the rest of my bells were all painted with David. Now I like these little spoons, because I leave it in this enameled, and this cleans. It's very easy to clean. Okay, so I've already put one coat on this, but I'm going to show you with the one that I painted pink with spray paint 2 years ago. So I'm going to show you how I paint over spray paint. So I literally take my sponge, I go in and I twist it so that I can cover the inside first. And just dab some of this paint up. Then we don't have to stroke. It's messy. Yes, it is, but it's better than trying to do it with a paintbrush. And then I'm going to put it down and just dab all over it, because I want to get this excess paint in between the wires out. We don't want that in. Yesterday I used a smaller sponge. The smaller sponge works better. Okay, and again, because this was like a shocking pink, and this is what the hands look like. Because it was a shocking pink, I do have to put 2 coats on. So I put it to the side, waited for it to dry, and it dried like this. It's almost coated. You can just see pink, a little bit of pink here and there. And I'm going to go in with a second coat, and I'm probably going to use my whole tub of wet wipes for this class. Oh, dis 'n plesier, Amanda. Excuse, I have to bend down to see the comments, but thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the second layer. And just press it, because we don't want to paint the wire with the brush. The paint is going to seep through all the little holes, and it's going to go everywhere, and it's going to be even more messier than the sponge. So you don't need to use one of these mushroom stump brushes. You can use any sponge, because we need to get in the little crevices here. Because I don't want to see pink on my tree this year. My tree is neutral tones, very organic, with greens and earthy colors. A lot of clay, a lot of twine, a lot of wood. I do have a couple of blingy baubles and lights, but yes, the rest is. You will also notice that I do not cover any of my items tonight with clear glaze or antique glaze, because I want a matte look. And because it's Christmas decorations and it's not something that I'm going to use or something that is going to be handled all the time, it's fine. I love the matte look. I'll show you on my tree. Okay, and there we have it. So all I did is I added the string with a little ribbon. And there I've upcycled my bright pink wire bells. The thing that I love about Christmas is that it's so easy, or Christmas ornaments, is that it is so easy to upcycle it and to repaint it. And I always try to encourage people not to buy new stuff. You guys, there's too much things in the world. We don't have landfills anymore. It's full. It's full. They don't have anywhere to put all the stuff anymore. So I love to take out my old Christmas decorations and repaint the ones that I can repaint and reuse it and upcycle it. And it is much cheaper. So, and it has got a personal touch, so makes it pretty. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you, I'm just going to show you this because it's also something that I've done a couple of years ago. I discovered it in my drawer. Sorry, I'm cleaning my hands. And that is simple salt clay, salt dough, flour, salt. There's many recipes on the internet. And I have this Dove cookie cutter, and I literally just made them, baked them, and painted them with a mixture of David and my favorite aardvark. I literally put one of these hooks in, screw-in hooks with the twine. Okay. I accidentally painted all of them in the preparation. That's why I'm showing you. Okay, so that's that one. The other thing that I did, which I loved, is I used these molds that Tjhoko sent me previously. I did one of my lives with these molds. And I thought, so you can see that they're still wet from being washed. So I thought, what about the air dry clay that I have? I have a packet of air dry clay that is open, and I'm not sure when I'm going to do a project again, so I wanted to use the clay. So I'm going to quickly show you. We're not going to work with the clay because we don't have time. My focus is on the paint and the painting products. But what I did is I literally put the clay in here. I rolled it out. I took a round cookie cutter, and that's what I made. So I'm going to show you how to paint this. So I literally just cut them out. They dried overnight. And there is a beautiful tree ornament. Muted tones goes very well with my tree. You guys, I've got so many ideas and I want to get through all of them. I said to Michelle today, she must kick me out if I go over the time. Okay, so I need my, oh, yeah. So this is what it looks like after it's dried. So you can see the patterns on there. And what I did is before, while the clay was still wet, I just bended some wire and I just stick it in the top so that it can dry in there so that I have something. I don't have to drill holes in it afterwards, because if you have to drill holes in it afterwards, it might crack. Okay, and this, I use this beautiful magical marina, and the normal artist brush. And did I put some? No, I have not put some of this in my paint tray. And I literally just, let me see if I can bring it down a bit so that you can see closer. I just go in almost like with a circular motion so that I make sure that the paint goes into all the little grooves. Again, this is very messy, but for me, it's no problem. I love it when my hands get full of paint, because then I know that I've made something pretty. Okay, and of course, if you painted the one side, you have to wait for it to dry before we can paint the other side. Let me put the water on this side. Okay, and again, magic in my studio, it dries very quickly. Okay, I still have to paint the back, but I'll show you what I did with the front. So I'm going to put this here on the side as well. I've got 100 things here on the side. I really want to show all of it to you. Okay, take a clean brush. Also, again, an artist brush. This is a golden Teflon brush. It's just the fibers of the brush. It's synthetic fibers, but I don't know. This really works very well with the chalk paint for me. Let me just go a little bit up so that I can see if I miss any comments. Because I also do fine art with chalk paint. I literally make paintings with chalk paint, and these golden Teflon brushes work very well with it. Okay, so for that, I use the David again, and I need to put more. I don't want to put too much out in the beginning, because then afterwards I have to put it in a different container, and if I have a lot of potjies full verf, then it just dries out if it's in a small container. Okay, so what I do is you'll see that I'm working on the desk protector sheets that you get from Tjhoko. And because I'm going to do dry brushing, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so that you can see. Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on the connectivity as well. On my other phone, just to make sure that we are still connected. Okay, so what I do is then I just dab it on here because I don't want the paint to go too much onto the background. And I hold my brush sideways and I just drag it over. Just like that. If you want to make it a little bit darker, you can go in both directions, but it's really, really, really necessary. And just look at this. Stunning. And all I did is I added wine and one of these pretty flowers. That's all I did. Easy peasy. And I made a dozen for myself of these for the tree. Okay, so the next one, let's put this to the side. It's getting really messy on the side here. Okay, so the next one is a little angel. You guys, I went through my drawers to find things that I can paint, and I discovered these little angels that my dad cut for me many years ago with a jigsaw. And yes, my dad's no longer with us, but I thought, let me paint this and hang them on my tree. And I'm going to show you what I did, what I used to do this. Ta-da! Beautiful little stencil. And what I did is I did not use a stencil brush. I actually sat and I used my artist brush. And the paint did go a little bit under the stencil. And for other people, that might be a mistake and look like a mistake, but I actually love the pattern that it made. It looks like a design. It looks like wallpaper, or it really looks very nice. And I decided, instead of redoing it, I'm going to leave it like that. For me, this is a happy accident because I absolutely love it the way it came up. But normally, thank you, Lene, normally you would use a stencil brush. But let me show you what I did with my artist brush. So what I did is I also turned this the stencil sideways. Let me just put one of the smaller ones underneath. Otherwise, I'm going to have lots of paint here. And I need that same brush that I used. And again, the David. Obviously, you know by now my color theme is Frix Forest, Awesome, Magical Marina, Aardvark, and David. I do take some of the excess paint off, but not all of it. Because I just love the effect that it made. And I also go in with like circular motions. I think it's the circular motion that, um, helps the paint to go in underneath a little bit. But like I said, for me, for the purpose that I'm using it for today, I love it. You do get very small stencil brushes from Tjhoko, but when I was doing the preparations, I was on a different planet. My mind was wandering. I picked up this brush and it worked beautiful for me. I absolutely love the effect because it also have, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see it, but it's also got like a little raised effect. And it's not stencil of parrots. So I absolutely love this, doing this as well. And again, all I did is I just have a little ring and some twine. I attached it to it, and there it is, plain and simple, the way I like it. Now, of course, any of the things that I make here tonight, you can do in your own style. You can, sorry, I need to see you when I talk to you. You can do in your own style. If you love bright colors, you do it in bright colors. If you love bling, you can add a lot of glitter or foils or gold or silver leaf to your project. And talk about bling. I also received the silver and the gold because I do like a little bit of bling and put some bling onto my tree, even though I'm not so crazy about everything being blingy. So for the gold, I decided I'm going to show you how I paint on fabric with Tjhoko and how I use the metallic paint. So this is a little heart. So I had in my drawers quite a few of these. That's what they originally looked like. So this is just a square one. And then I have a few of these hearts. Now you can see the original pattern had like a green line on it. And I painted one coat because I wanted to see the green line so that I have a reference line for the gold. Okay. So the one thing about the gold as well that I discovered is that it doesn't just help to shake it. You guys, metallic paint is exactly what is in the word. It's metallic. There's metallic particles in it. And the metallic particles goes down to the bottom. So you need to not stir it like this. You need to go into the bottom and bring that metallic particles up if you want to get a solid coverage. Otherwise, it's going to be see-through because the mediums that hold these metallic particles together is at the top. So just make sure that you bring all the metal particles to the top. Okay, so I'm going to show you, get a second, go away. I'm going to show you how I did the gold. Sorry, just had to take a sip of water. Okay, I'm using a very, very small artist brush. It is size 000. And what I did to get it onto this fabric is I literally dipped it in. And instead, you'll see that I did, oh no, this is the one. This is my original one. So, but what I did is I did not paint the lines, okay, because I want that solid metallic look. So I literally dab it on. So if I paint it, I can do it. And then when it's see-through, I just have to paint over it again. But I don't want to paint 3 or 4 times. So literally just dab. And then I'll get a solid metallic gold look. Again, this does not need to be heat set because it's not something that you're going to sit on or wash. It is my tree ornaments. Next year, it's probably going to get a different color. I'll probably have to paint 2 layers of white to get rid of this gold, but and again, I could have painted the aardvark 2 layers, but I wanted to be able to see the lines and use it as a guide for my gold lines. And there you have it. Look at that metallic look. To see. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a sore neck tomorrow. That's the thing when you do everything by yourself. Okay, so that is painting on fabric, the little part. You guys, you have to keep watching because at the end I'm going to show you my tree. If you don't stay until the end, you're gonna miss out on seeing the tree. Okay, so the next thing that I did, and I painted everything. It's easy. Is I just have these wooden Christmas trees in my stash, and all I did is I used that same 000 brush and I made little dots with Frick's Forest, and I added the twine, and then the other ones, so 4 I painted like this, and the other 4 I just painted with Frick's Forest. Plain and simple, just the way I like. Okay, so next up I've got oh yes, so this is you probably saw in the sneak peek, you saw the blocks of polystyrene. Okay, so I wanted to cover it with Christmas wrap, Christmas paper, and then put ribbons around it, and I thought I'm not going to buy Christmas paper just for this, so I found music paper, serviettes, napkins that I just covered the block with, and then I used it, whitewashed it, and made little Christmas presents to hang on my tree. The one thing that I love about this is not heavy. I hate it when you buy tree ornaments and it's heavy and it pulls down the branches. Then everything at the top is empty and all the branches are hanging at the bottom. So let me show you how I did this. Also, very easy. Dry brush. Of course, I need a clean brush and a dry brush. Don't use a brush that's been in your water. I also love these rounded paint brushes. A filbert brush, that's what they call it. And again, I just went over you can hear the polystyrene. I just went over it with that. Now, if I accidentally added too much paint onto it, I just simply took a wet wipe and I wiped it away. Very easy. This is something that you can actually do with your kids as a family, is make new tree ornaments for your tree together. And the other thing, of course, that's nice about chalk paint and Tjhoko is that it dries very quickly. And we don't have to worry about waiting for things to dry overnight. Like I said, again, that is a functional item, but it's going to hang on the tree. I don't seal it, so I don't need to wait for it to dry overnight before I add. Seal it, of course, you can seal it if you like a glossy look, but I like muted tones, and then also it's going to be much easier for me next year to paint over it and do something else. And again, all I did is I left it to dry and just added a ribbon like you would wrap a Christmas tree, a Christmas present, a little ring there in the middle, and This time I used some satin ribbon for a little Christmas present. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to show you. Remember, I'm not only showing you all the nice things that I'm making, I also try, as a teacher, I think it's just in my nature, as a teacher, I also try to bring in different techniques and techniques that I discover by accident and show you. So all of these decorations have different techniques in it. So the next thing that I wanted to show you is how I painted on string, crochet string, cotton string, yeah, that I just crocheted these hearts. So I also have a couple of these hearts. Where's my one that's finished? Oh, here it is. So there it is. So I did the ombre technique on the hearts. The other thing when I painted on it is the paint makes this heart. So then it won't bend on the tree and it just hangs on the tree like that. Okay, and I used David. Okay, so I wish I had a cameraman to follow me as I paint. So I load the brush because I want a lot of paint onto this cotton twine. I want the paint to make it hard. And I literally, of course, I painted the back green as well, but I'm going to show you the front. Really load this brush. Okay, and I don't clean my brush with water. Just try to get some of the paint off. And then I must just make sure I used Awesome. Let me just see which one I used. No, I used Magical Marina. In the center. And of course, because this is still wet, it blends perfectly. And then I can go and widen the circle. This is the easiest way to do ombre is with the wet cotton. It's much easier than on wood. And then to make the center pop, I just use Frick's Forest in the center. And there you have it. It's easy as that. Of course, when it's dry, you can paint the back. You can paint it with David, or you can paint it with Frick's Forest. I happen to have Awesome in my pan, so I just painted. And like I said, you can see it's still soft, but when the paint dries, it's nice and hard, so it's perfect for a tree ornament or decoration. Okay, the other thing that I did is I had these little rectangular blocks. If you don't have, you can always cut some. But I did have them in my late father cut for me. And I just want to work, I'm going to fold this in half and work on that because I don't want to waste. And I'm going to use Awesome for this. I love, love, love this Awesome color. I love all the Tjhoko colors. But of all the greens that I've worked with, this is by far my favorite. Ooh, now I took the magical merino on my brush. Sorry. I think next time I'm gonna write the paint name onto the spoon, and then I'll take it out and then I know which ones to take. And I literally just one coat, you guys. This is a nice, this because it's lighter. Remember what I said about the consistency of the pigment. The Frix Forest is a very dark green, so it's got a lot of green pigment. This is mixed with white to make it lighter, and white is the most opaque paint that you can get. So that's why with this lighter paint, the wood will not come through. You can paint one coat. And it's so easy. I sat Wednesday, no Tuesday, the whole day, and I made these decorations. And of course, I waited for it to dry, and then I painted the back. And let me just clean my hands. And I took some wire, very thin bending wire, and I used one of my paint brushes that's not too thick. I'll show you. And I literally just twisted it around. Sorry for the dogs. Twisted it around the paintbrush, pulled it off, pulled it out. And then I also drilled little holes at the top, and I pushed it through from the back. I'll show you now on the one that is done. I have to finish all of these tomorrow. And I pushed it through, and I just used one of my jewelry tools, this pliers with the round noses, and I just made a little curly whirly there, and I wrote a Bible verse that's related to Christmas, because I always like to put something about my faith on my tree. And I literally just used a white pen. Let me just find the pen. Where did I put it? I kept it here to show you. Oh, here it is. So I just used a gel pen. It's just a gel pen that I used to, and it's a beautiful tree ornament. It's also a memory of my father, because this we actually cut together. So you can actually make your tree ornaments very sentimental as well, depending on what you want. Okay, the other thing that I did is I experimented. Now, I would not normally paint directly onto polystyrene. But if you make tree ornaments and you don't want to put a lot of time and effort into it, why not? I did cover it with Awesome. No, David. I did cover it with David to give it an undercoat, because I actually wanted to put glitter over here, and then I thought, no, let me. Okay, I need to sit now, because the standing is getting tired of standing. Okay, let me just sit. Then I thought, let me try and see how the metallic paint is going to react directly onto the polystyrene. And you guys, it came out beautiful. Just look how shiny it is. And it's pretty. Why would you want to put an undercoat if it covers? What I love about painting directly onto because I thought about putting paper mache over it, and then I thought, okay, no. I want to show you what it looks like if you paint directly onto polystyrene. Especially if you want to make for a birthday, somebody's 21st or a graduation, and you quickly want to make decorations. You don't want to spend a lot of time, money, or effort into making the decorations, but you still want it to look pretty. You can use Tjhoko's metallic silver or gold, or rose gold, directly onto the polystyrene. I mean, just look at that. So let me show you what I did. Just want to get another lappy. Okay. I'm going to see if I can put the camera very close so you can see. Again, shake the bottle, especially if it's a big container, because the particles, the metal particles, goes and it lies down at the bottom. Now I don't have a small one. I did actually mix it very well when I used it this afternoon. But the first time when I opened the container, I had to really, really go down to the bottom and bring up the metallic particles. And then what I would advise is if you use metallic paint, don't use a wet brush. Take a dry brush. Yes, you're going to have a lot of brushes to wash at the end if you make 3 ornaments like I do. But I promise you, you're going to thank me. Is use a dry brush. Let me just find one that's. Okay, no, this one's old. The hair is standing like that. You guys, I have 2 drawers full of new paint brushes, but this is what I use. I've got 5 of these containers on my desk. I don't know if anybody else is like this. We buy new brushes because I'm a brush hoarder, but I still use the old brushes. I still keep them. I don't want to throw them away. Okay, and with the metallic paint on the polystyrene, you do have to put 2 coats. You can see, again, I dab it because if you brush it, then you can brush away most of the paint. But it's still good coverage. Still good coverage. And the other reason why I put that little knobby thingy where I want to attach the wire to is because then I can hold it while I paint. I absolutely love how nice this metallic paint is. There you can see I put the second coat on while the first coat was still wet, and just look at that coverage. Now I'm going to have to put it down. I'm going to have to repaint it again because the paint's going to come off. So what I did is I painted the sides first, and then when it was dry, I painted the bottom. Okay. So for that, I have not put a little string on yet because I'm in 2 minds if I'm going to add a gold bow or a green one. And I literally did this 20 minutes before we went live because I wasn't going to do this. And then I thought I have to show you guys how easy it is to paint on polystyrene, especially if you have to make decor for school, matric farewell, so they always gear in the parents to come and do the decor or make the decorations. And then, paint directly onto the polystyrene. Don't even worry about. That's it. I went through everything except there's one last thing. So, okay, I'm not over the time. I actually managed my preparations was I did it well so that I can show you everything. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is not my idea. I've got my inspiration from Pinterest. If you go onto Pinterest, you'll see it's been done in many different ways. I just wanted to show you how I make it in my way. So you can make it in all different ways, but I thought it was very cute, and I thought it is super cool, and it is made with popsicle sticks. And look at my 3 angel. See, And she's very neat at the back. It's not like there's a big mess at the back. So for this, we're going to need some popsicle sticks, broad ones, and I need to put my glue gun on. Broad ones, and the thin ones. Oh, I actually need one more. Sorry, I used it to mix the metallic paint, and I wasn't supposed to use it to mix the metallic paint. Okay, and then scissors, and with my sanding paper. I need a sip of water, you guys. I just want to check the connectivity. Just check if we are still safe. Yes, well, on my side, it says we are still connected. And then I also have one of those crocheted hearts because I have a bag full of those. And I have a little star and a big wooden bead. And of course, twine. And yes, that's it. And of course, ribbon. I don't have any more of that ribbon, but I can maybe use, you see, these are the ribbons that I took off from the wire bells from a previous color scheme. So I just took it off and I'm going to reuse them. If I don't use them tonight, I'll put them in a little bag and I will use them. Okay, so the glue gun is on. The first thing that we need to do is make the little arms. And I'm just like, I'm not going to measure. So I found the easiest way is this. Obviously, this pliers will not go through it because it's jewelry pliers. Oh, it did. Excuse me, the previous one didn't. And then all I did is I just sanded it. So that nobody gets it into the skin. Also a very nice project to do with the kids. Obviously not toddlers, but your older kids. And you can make angels, you can make Father Christmas, you can make nutcrackers. I actually saw one where they've made with popsicle sticks the nutcracker, the princess, the mouse king, and the mouse. The mouse king and the, what's the other character? The boy. Mouse king is the mouse. Okay. So these are the legs, these are the arms, and there's 3 for the body in front and 1 at the back. Okay. So I just want to make sure that my heat gun is warm. Now, obviously, we want the legs to stick out a little bit, and we want the dress to make like a triangular shape. So I'm just going to rest it down and make sure it's the way I want it. And I'm eyeballing it, but you can take a little pencil and mark it to know where you have to put your glue from your glue gun. And of course, you must be very careful not to burn. It's very easy to burn with a glue gun. You can use other glue, but then you have to be very patient and wait for it to dry. Come on. I just want to make sure that this one is going to cover the center because we don't want a hole on that side or on this side. The only reason why I'm putting glue there is to fill that hole. And make sure this popsicle stick glues down. And oh, the legs are not sticking out very far. This one's got a very long dress on, sorry. Sorry about the dogs. And then you can see the back is quite a bit of a mess. And that is why I covered it with another popsicle stick, because I don't like it when people pick up anything that I made and look at the back and then it's a mess. It must be neat and tidy. So all the patterns that I've seen on Pinterest, none of these have this at the back. So at least I brought something very original to my plan. Okay, and I just want to get the glue that's sticking out there. And then, of course, we just need to position the hands like we want them. And my glue sticks are finished. Murphy's Law. I've got some at the back. I'll quickly run and get one. That's the one thing I said to myself. Get extra glue stick. Yeah. The problem with the connectivity that I think it's plastered. Okay, and then, okay, the one thing that I did that I shouldn't have done now is I actually painted all of this before I put the hands on. So I'm just going to take it off, because otherwise it's going to be difficult to do this, paint this area and not touch the little hands. So let's switch that off. I'll clean this now and just re-glue them. Okay, so the one thing that I want to do is I want the next one to be a little bit contrasting from this one. So I'm going to paint it with my favorite green. And again, it's easy. Wood loves chalk paint. One coat. Very easy. Sorry, that's a little bit of the glue. I was in a rush. But I'm going to glue over that, so I'm not going to see it. Oops. Touch the feet. Touch the feet. Of course, you can paint little shoes on if you want to. Like I said, I'm a minimalistic person when it comes to home decor and decorations and things like that. I don't like too much blingy or too much frillies, or plain and simple. My house is decorated except for my studio and my one spare bedroom. Everything is decorated like in a Scandinavian style. Of course, I am using the wings. You can use anything else for wings. You can use wood. You can use wire. You can use, I saw some with doilies. You can use corrugated iron if you can cut it. You can use tin from soda, cardboard box, fabric, whatever to make angel wings. And of course, you can cut it out in a heart or like real angel shaped wings. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is get the this through the bead, and I'm going to show you a trick, because the one thing that frustrates me when I do crafts is sometimes, okay, this has got quite a big hole, so I'll get this through, the single one through quite easily, but I want to put both through. And sometimes it doesn't want to come out on that side because this happens. It frays like this. So I'm going to show you a trick. All you do is you take some gel medium and you put it on your fingers, and you literally rub it on and you twist it. You make a nice little sharp point, twist it so that it's very thin. I actually use different twine for this. This one is a bit thicker, but let's see. It should go through. That hole is quite big. And I'll leave this for a minute or so to dry. So this is really a neat trick that I discovered one day when I tried to get twine through a hole and it just didn't want to go through. And I had gel medium in my hands, and then I said to myself, well, this must work. Okay, so we'll wait for that to dry. Okay, so let's wait for that to dry. Let's see if anybody has any questions for me. Then I can finish that, because I can leave it now and say, oh, it's going to look like that. But if Michelle is happy to continue broadcasting, I will finish that, but we'll just wait for it to dry. I don't want to put a hairdryer on because everything around me is going to blow into my studio, because I'm literally surrounded by all the steps and everything that I made for today. Has anybody got a question for me about anything that I made tonight? Once we're done with this, I'm going to show you my tree, because everything I made here tonight is already hanging on my tree. Oh, Amanda, you are so welcome. You are so, so, so welcome. Of course, I also used the gold metallic and the 000 brush, number 000 brushes, and the Frix Forest, and just made a couple of small flowers. Okay, this one is still a little bit wet, but let's see if it's going to work. So then I just cut that stringies off. You guys, sorry that I have to tilt the camera up and down, but I hate talking to people and not look them, well, I'm not looking you in the eye, but I like to look at the camera. And I'm just going to push this. Obviously, it's not completely dry. I have to wait for it now. I'm pushing my luck here now. This must be rock solid hard. Okay, let's wait for that to dry, then see if the arms. Oh, I must paint the arms. I must paint the arms. Of course, you can have short sleeves as well. But let's give her long sleeves. I thought this was so cute. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make for my tree. And I'm going to show you. And you'll see now, if you go on Pinterest and type in popsicle stick angels or popsicle stick tree ornaments, they also make stars and things like that. You'll see where I got my ideas from, but you'll see that it doesn't look anything like what I've created here tonight. And that's how you get inspired by something that you see, but you put your own stamp on it. What's the word, y'all? You make it your own style. The other thing is I would never go and make this commercially and sell it because it wasn't my original idea. I'll just make it for myself. But the pattern is, I can't unfortunately share the pattern with you, but you'll see if you go onto Pinterest, there's lots of people that share. It's not really a pattern, the instructions on how to make it. Let me go get a glue stick. Oops, it's my last one. I'll have to go and get glue sticks. Okay, and it's almost time for my husband to arrive home, so the dogs are going to bark when he comes home. I apologize in advance. Okay. Here on there, my words went not even cold. It's a beautiful, beautiful summer evening. Oops, I don't want the glue to come out. I have to put a little bit of glue on, not too much. Otherwise, it's gonna seep out. I hate these little stringies that glue guns make. Of course, you can glue anything. Ow, ow, ow. But I had these wooden stars and I thought they look stunning. So I'm not going to attempt to remove that glue because I'm just going to pull the arms off again. So I'm just going to and then when I put a little bow there, it's also going to cover it. Okay, this is drier than what it was before, but it's not like completely dry. But you can see that it's stuff. Stuff, that was the word that I was looking for. Stuff. Okay. Doesn't want to go through. This twine is too thick. I had another piece of thinner twine. Here's the twine that I actually made for this head. Okay. But I'm just gonna put it through with an awl. Let me just see. Winding piece of sellotape. Yes, I can do that as well. I just don't have sellotape. But I'm just gonna push it through with the awl. I actually prepared this little twine for so that it looks the same as that. Okay. And I pull it through so that this little knobby goes into the bead. And then I put glue on it so that I know it won't pull through. And then I add it to the heart. And just wait for it to dry. I don't want to put it down, otherwise it's going to glue, it's going to attach to the okay. And then I'm going to just add some glue Yeah. Who would have thought that popsicle sticks can make such a pretty ornament? And then the one thing that I saw when I made it is obviously this falls back. It's like bending her head backwards. So all I did is I just added a little bit of glue, there and stick the head to it. And that's why I put a bow there, is to cover up that. Oh, this looks like hair. Looks like her hair. Even though she doesn't have a face. Normally when I make art dolls as well, I don't put faces on them, but you're welcome to. You'll see some of them have faces, some of them have halos, tinsel halos and things like that, but plain and simple, that's my style. So I think let's do this nice little brown bow. And the thing about tiny bows, I know you can make it with a fork, but let's make it bigger and then I can just pull it close. Smaller. There's all sorts of ways to make a bow. The reason why I tie it like this is because then the sides, then it's nice. If you tie it like we were taught, then this one thing is here at the top and goes in a different direction. I mean, this looks much prettier. Okay. And there you don't even see the glue that I attached to the beads. And then the only thing that I did is I literally, okay, let's do silver on this. And I need to get my 0000 brush out. I'm going to work very small. So I'm going to put this down. And I literally just made like drops to make a flower. And then on the other one, I made 2 hearts on the side. But for this one, I'm going to do flowers. And I'm going to use the Frix Forest again. And just make a dark leaf there. And there. And that's it. I'm done. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to show you my tree. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like watching. Oh, look how cute they look together. And I hope that I showed you some ideas tonight. You just have to excuse my passageway is a bit dark. And let's go to the lounge and I'll show you my Christmas tree. Okay, I don't know how to flip the camera, but I'll show you. Okay, so the little light is on, but I'll have to put the light on. Okay, so there's the tree. So there's that ornament. There's the little dove. Oh, I have to twist and see. There's my heart. There's my poinsettia. There's my angel. These are the poinsettias that inspired the whole thing. There's my wire, so that is my Christmas tree. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed it, you guys. And yes, I'll take some pictures and some close ups for Michelle. I'll send it to Tjhoko. And yes, hope you can get inspiration from it. It was such a lovely evening. I enjoyed this time with you. Apologies again for the technical errors with the internet, but that is life. Be blessed. Bye.